Okay, first let's get the obvious jokes out of the way. Is that a JoJo reference?
Actually, it's a persona.
So, Jing Yuan's banner finally dropped and everyone has been excitedly busting out their stellar jades for Ting Yun.
Cool it!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the worst Jing Yuan guide on the internet. We're gonna be talking about his abilities, traces, Lightcones, and, well, you get the idea. Damn, that's a cool lion. Jing Yuan is a lightning erudition character. If you don't know what that is, it basically means he hits everything. Everyone. He hits all the things. Really hard. With lightning damage. That's basically his whole thing. And he's really good at it. For some reason, I can hear his voice while looking at his model. You know, I can hear him going, you know that thing hot guys do? Being an AoE character, however, means he's gonna be outshined by single target hunt characters when it comes to, well, single target. Obviously, the man has a bird living in his hair. What? But that doesn't mean he's bad against single targets. He can actually still dish out a lot of damage against solo enemies because
conflict is pitiless.
Going into his abilities, Jing Yuan's basic attack is called Glistening Light. For reference, Zealous is called Thwack. His basic attack deals lightning damage to a single enemy. You know, the usual, nothing special. Fun lore fact, his weapon was forged using embers from Land the Hunt's star-destroying Lux Arrow and is called the Starfall Reverie.
It's cool!
Before we talk about the rest of his kit though, we need to talk about his talent. Piranha Extirpated. Jing Yuan summons
The lightning-wielding, thunder-clapping, spirit-squashing lord.
Okay. Jing Yuan summons the Lightning Lord at the start of battle. It appears over here in the turn order. Whenever it's the Lightning Lord's turn, it chooses a random target to attack, damaging the target and doing a bit of splash damage to adjacent enemies. It does this for every hit. Now you might see a little number next to it. This is its hits per action. It basically determines how many hits the Lightning Lord will do when it attacks. By default, it has 3, but whenever you use your skill or ultimate, it goes up by 2 and 3 respectively, up to a maximum of 10. So, in summary, use skill and ult, number go up, damage go up, okay? This passive shreds toughness bars so well, like ridiculously well. Look at this. And it counts as a follow-up attack, so anything that boosts follow-up attack damage like Herta's Lightcone or the Elation buffs in Simulated Universe would be pretty good on him. Now, the downside to this is that it's very slow. Brother has a base speed of 60.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
Fortunately, every time the Lightning Lord's hits per action goes up by 1, its speed also goes up by 10 for a maximum of 130 speed. Whenever it takes action though, its speed and hits per action go back to their default values, so you'll need to stack them up again. Oh, and if Jing Yuan is knocked down, the Lightning Lord disappears, and if he's CC'd, it can't attack. This is the most complicated and also the most important part of Jing Yuan's kit. Everything else is pretty straightforward and interacts with this talent in one way or another. His skill, Rifting Zenith, deals lightning damage to all enemies and increases the Lightning Lord's hits per action by 2. It also looks really cool. His ultimate, Lightbringer, deals lightning damage to all enemies and increases the Lightning Lord's hits per action by 3. It's basically just his skill, but better and cooler. And finally, his technique, Spirit Invocation, raises the Lightning Lord's hits per action in the first turn by 3 at the start of the next fight. Overall, gameplay-wise, Jing Yuan himself is pretty mediocre, but the thing that makes him amazing is the Lightning Lord. His whole gameplay loop is about stacking up the Lightning Lord's hits per turn. It's the whole reason why he still does well against single targets. This thing is the majority of his damage. Speaking of damage, no, you don't need his signature light cone. Do you need a private jet? No. Would it be cool? You bet your damn booty it would be. Why are people even asking this question? That being said, Before Dawn is really good. Stupidly good. In comparison, Night on the Milky Way is just... yeah, they really did the prettiest light cone in the game dirty. So, what do you equip on this guy? Well, if you have his signature light cone, equip that. If you don't, equip any erudition light cone you have. Use what you have. Do not feel incentivized to pull on the weapon banner. You don't need it. Trust. Unless you're a whale, then do as you please. Or if you simply really want it, then again, do as you please. There's a cute little bird in the banner. Herta's light cone, Birth of the Self, is pretty good on him if you have it, since it greatly boosts his Lightning Lord's damage. But S5 Breakfast is probably the best free-to-play option overall, since you can farm it for free. Woohoo! Light cone problem solved. Quickly going over his traces, he gains a bunch of crit rate, a bunch of attack, and a little bit of defense. The exact numbers don't matter since all you need to know is that damage to enemies go up a little and damage to you go down a little. His first trace passive is Battaglia Crush. If the Lightning Lord's hits per action is greater than or equal to 6, its crit damage increases by 25% for the next turn. It's important to note, however, that only the Lightning Lord's crit damage goes up, not Jing Yuan's. His second trace passive is Savant Providence. At the start of battle, he gets 15 energy. Simple, but good. Helps a lot with cycling. His final trace passive is War Marshal. After his skill is used, the crit rate increases by 10% for 2 turns. I don't know why, but the crit rate, the way it's worded, it's funny to me. Shut up. In terms of level up priority, I'd say he can skip on his basic attacks and focus primarily on his talent, since that's where the majority of his damage comes from. Second priority would be the ult, and third would probably be his skill. I don't know though, this is the worst Jing Yuan guide. You'll have to figure out the sweaty details yourself. This isn't even my Jing Yuan. I don't have the guy. With all that being said, how do you want to build him? Well, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna want to build your Serval, then you're gonna take whatever is on her, and you're gonna slap it on Jing Yuan. I don't know how to build Serval. Well, tough luck, kid. You're never gonna survive in the real world. Okay, fine. The serious build would be something like the 4-piece lightning set with crit rate or crit damage body, depending on what you're lacking, and speed or attack shoes. Up to you. For ornaments, you can go Space Sealing Station or an Art Salsado with a lightning damage sphere and attack percentage rope. There, you happy? Tank, healer, DPS, support. That's it. You never have to worry about team comps ever again. Just mix and match. Maybe you replace the tank with a debuffer, or maybe even a second support if you're feeling spicy. Or hell, double DPS. If you have Ting Yun, pop her in there. She's good in literally every team. If you don't, then Asta is really good for Jing Yuan too, since he loves speed. The key here is to use who you have built. Don't worry too much about optimizing that one perfect team, since you're gonna be swapping out characters anyway for different scenarios. But overall, this is the standard. Just like his ranking in most Bondo tier lists, Jing Yuan's Eidolons are all about that triple S, baby. His E1 slash sees split increases the amount of splash damage that the Thunderlord does to enemies adjacent to its main target. So not the main target, just the 2 dudes on the side. This is per hit. Okay, pretty cool, pretty nice. His E2, Swing Sky Squashed, gives Jing Yuan a 20% damage increase for 2 turns after the Lightning Lord takes action, which is pretty good. This is almost always gonna be up. Having a free 20% increase in damage for your basic attack, skill, and ultimate every so often is pretty pog. His E3, Strike Sun Subdued, is the usual ultimate and basic attack level up. His E4, Spin Stars Siege, gives Jing Yuan 2 energy for each hit performed by the Lightning Lord, which adds up to a free 20 energy at max stacks. Really good Eidolon. More energy equals more ults equal more Lightning Lord stacks, and more Lightning Lord stacks equal more damage. His E5, Stride Spoils Seized, is the usual skill and talent level up. And finally, his E6, Sweep Souls Slain, puts a 12% damage taken debuff on the enemy every time the Lightning Lord hits them, stacking up to 3 times for a total of 36% more damage on the 4th hit onward on a single enemy. Now, the wording here is important because it only applies this vulnerability debuff to the target enemy, singular, not the other 2 dudes on the side, just the main target of each hit. This is obviously a really good E6, tons of extra damage, very cool. Overall, his Eidolons just make him do more damage. Do you need them? Well, if your whole purpose in life is taking screenshots of insanely high damage numbers and obnoxiously sharing them with everyone you meet online to assert your superiority over others in a PvE game, then yes. Or if you just want to see a portion of naked Jing Yuan. I don't judge. And that's it. That's the guide. Yup. If you want to ask me any questions about Honkai Star Rail, catch me over at twitch.tv/Nobumoka, and I will answer seriously to the best of my abilities. I'll see you guys on a different really bad guide video for a different character. Probably Ting Yun. I love Ting Yun. Why isn't she a 5-star?